Stugotz is down and out. He's gotten sick. This is a bad time to get sick. He's about to dominate Radio Row. Billy, are you ready for Radio Row? Because it is a bit of a crazed, manic, sprawling tapestry of nonsense that you guys, you go to the Super Bowl. You're rigorous. You are buttoned up as a producer. All you need is reliability from Stugotz. It's impossible. He will not give you reliability, and now he's sick.
Well, I mean, the good thing is it's the most reliable he is, many are saying. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's sick, but he's just kind of wandering about the office, pulling people aside, having side conversations. I look out there, he's talking to Carl in the I'm trying to piece together exactly what's going on with him because he was quite sick in there, but nary a sneeze outside once I see him kind of rubbing elbows, talking about brand deals with Cynthia and the like.
I wonder if his form will say separated or married or what on it.
He likes to be chummy, man. That's why this is his nirvana. This is why it's a promised land. He just likes to slap people on the back, feel important, be important, and God bless him. God bless football.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what Meadowlark supports. Roy Wood Jr., I will tell you, in Lonely Flowers, it's a new stand-up he's got on Hulu. It is getting great reviews. I don't know if he reads his reviews. He's a wildly talented stand-up. And your reviews here, you have felt how about them? Have you been reading these things? Because you're getting a lot of applause for being able to reinvent yourself here during the political, after leaving The Daily Show and having a business that's you alone.
Man, thank you, brother. I do read them. I especially the stuff on Reddit. It's two places in comments I respect: Reddit and YouTube, because those people got time. Like, it's not the quick Twitter nonsense. It's going to be a deep dive into why you suck, and somewhere in there might be a very justified critique. So I'm okay with that. Love it or hate it, it's out there. Hulu gave me my money, the check cleared. I don't care.
How do you feel about it, though? You say you don't care, but these things require a great deal of care. When you do a special, it's supposed to be special. It's the height of your craft, is it not? You value it more than the other work you do.
Yeah, because it's just me. Nobody can give me notes on it or anything like that. And I mean, it's weird. I didn't write the special to talk about loneliness, but the more I wrote, the more I realized all these jokes are just about, we're alone, bro. We need to join a book club or a sex party. We need to connect again. And that's where the thoughts just started flowing from. So I didn't really even surprisingly, I didn't really get into politics. Like, I had Kamala and Trump jokes when I first started out, but by the time it was time to tape in DC, I was like, yeah.
But you're a smart businessman, and writing about loneliness is such a great place to connect right now. Roy, what's changed over the last 4 years is kind of crazy. People have been alone with themselves and gotten uncomfortable with that alone with themselves because it makes them look at things that are like, whoa, I didn't know that was so.
Yeah, you know what part of it was to me is that something as simple as the rise of Uber Eats and not leaving your house to go get better food. Because, like, delivery used to be, pizza, sandwich, wings. That was it. Now you can get a whole, conversation food you can have delivered. Sushi, you take your ass out the house to go get that. Whole-ass T-bone steak coming to your house. I used to work, shout out to Stakeout. It was a 90s establishment in the down south that delivered steaks, solely steaks, to the rich side of town. Like, that was such an elitist thing. Now anybody can have a damn ribeye at their crib. You're supposed to go to the store, get bad service, have a conversation, and bond with people. And, I just think, man, the death of retail was the death of communication.
Put it on the poll. Was the death of retail the death of communication at Le Batard Show?
Stakeout is still in business.
Stakeout is a Richard Dreyfuss. It's a Richard Dreyfuss movie. Stakeout is a movie Stakeout is a movie I'd watch if Roy Wood was in it. A buddy cop movie.
Yeah, dude. I just think, when you think about retail, bro, retail was the last spot where you would talk with a stranger. Either that or if you showed up to the game early and there's somebody close to you in one of your seats where you're sitting. Otherwise, when do you just voluntarily talk to people anymore? So it's impossible to know what people are going through.
Jeremy is aggressive about meeting people.
Oh, yeah. I'll go to the mall and just walk around for a stroll and go into stores just to kind of talk to people. I'll buy something for no reason, just so I can talk to people that aren't in this office. Because,
I used
Conversations
to-
with people in here.
When I used to work at Golden Corral, there were people like you who would come in and just eat alone just to talk to the server, which you could do back in 98. But now your server has 8 tables and she's understaffed and somebody else's food is late. They don't have time to talk to us either. Like
Why
nobody
going to movies
interacts
alone
anymore.
is perfect.
Bro, the strippers don't even talk to you anymore. They used to like come over and be like, "Why are you here, sir?"
Have you found that with
Even
the
that's
strippers?
gone.
Ah, yes, I know lots about that.
At the
be a-
Georgia Aquarium.
Used to be a people business.
Lonely Flowers is the new hour of stand-up on Hulu, and I will say, New York Magazine calls it mesmerizing and brilliant. The New York Times says, quote, Wood puts all of himself in this special. And Dominique Foxworth, our favorite critic, has tweeted twice that it is perfect. Did you think it was perfect?
There's one joke I flubbed, but other than that, yeah, I set out what I meant to do. Hey, we're lonely. Here's why we're lonely. Here's solutions to the loneliness. Here's where I'm lonely. Good night. Those were the 3 beats of the special. Because I don't think you can get out there without talking about your own stuff a little bit. I think that's disingenuous in a way. You know, I deal with that a little bit. Like I joked about it, but I did get invited to a sex party by 2 porn stars and I didn't go. And then my mother told me all they were trying to do was connect with you. Like, in what world does your Christian mother have to point out the fact that you rejected connection? Essentially is what I did. Say what you want about weird stuff, but at least those people found their tribe.
Roy, Dan read these very nice quotes from prestigious outlets and Dominique Foxworth. But to you, as a comedian, these can't be the places where you're like, oh, I feel good that New York Magazine really liked my stuff, right? Where do you find, I won't call it validation, but where do you find that feel good of, man, so-and-so really respected my work?
It won't be now, bro. It'll be like 3 years from now. Some stand-up that I respect and look up to, it'll just be, you did your thing with the flower shit. And then they'll just walk off. Like, it'll be the quickest, shortest interaction, and it will mean the absolute world to me, bro.
What are
absolute.
the ones that have landed? What are the ones that have memorable over time when you're getting the compliment from a comedian's comedian?
Chris Rock complimented me one time on a Daily Show segment, and it was something I'd done like 2 years prior. So the fact that was like still sitting in his mind, and he's just like, well, first off, why are you at home watching the Daily Show? Like, you're Chris Rock, don't you have stuff to do? And I guess the answer is no. So Sinbad watches a lot of comedy still. Sinbad knew who I was. I met him at a Netflix party, and like that's one of the guys that I looked up to. It was Sinbad, Carlin, Chris Rock, and Martin Lawrence, you know, when I started. And so that was really, really dope. I did a thing on Daily Show, man, this might have been year 2. Dan, you might remember this. You remember when I did we took the Black Trump. I wore a Trump wig, and the basic theory was that you could take any Trump line and it sounds like a rap song. And we took a series of Trump quotes and created a full rap song comprised of nothing but actual Donald Trump quotes and shot a music video for it. And Martin Lawrence retweeted it. And then then on Facebook typed a whole paragraph about why this is good and what, like really broke down. This takes me back to when I was, and I was just like, wow, like that, those stand out like legit. I think that Black Trump shit, I think it's still somewhere on YouTube or wherever, but I remember that one being one that really made me feel good. I mean, the magazines are cool. I mean, they're going to rip you one day, they're going to like you the next, but like when you get the respect of your peers and your people, you know, you go see Chappelle at the stand and he sees you in the room and goes, hey man, go get on stage, please. Like that's more of a review and an assessment of your career and your worth within your craft. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, that will always mean more.
You're saying those are the highest compliments, right? There are none higher, right?
If Chappelle says, get on the show where they're here to see me, what's higher than that? I think you're good enough that I will put you on stage in front of my audience. That like no comic is going to put on somebody who's going to lay a turd on the stage. So for me, that's the highest compliment that could be paid to a comedian.
Roy, the opposite of that. Do you ever get when someone comes up to you and says, "Oh man, I really loved that bit or that joke that you did," and you look back at it like, "Oh, that was so sophomoric," and it was like, "I'm so much better than that now." You're almost embarrassed by it.
Every prank call I've ever done.
Every on the
prank
radio?
phone call. Yeah, well, for the people who don't know, I did mornings for a decade, probably amassed 400 prank phone calls over that time. I put out 3 CDs, and then people were bootlegging me to death. Like, remember going viral over email? Like, back in the day, kids, when you liked something, you emailed it to your friend, and then they downloaded it. They downloaded a random file from a stranger. And so, like, my pranks have found a second life on TikTok now with all the young kids who found the bootlegs on YouTube. I don't hate on it.
That's some evergreen comedy, though, right? Like, that's my brother used to love do that. Like, that's the playground. Whatever you were doing with those prank calls is about the most fun that you can have. Just anytime you pick up a phone, you're able to make comedy.
Yeah, but it's also, I was 20 when I was doing those, 46. So people will find them on TikTok. Hey man, you should do those again. Nah, I was cussing out black people, and there was a lady I called one time. She was literally in the hospital, attached to an EKG, and I didn't hang up with her. We kept arguing. She could have died, bro. And so pranks are a young man's game, and I'm happy that people have found that part of my career. But that is the past. I'll never go back to it. I'll never do another prank. I think I did an episode of Crank Anchors 10 years ago. Even that felt weird.
Put it on.
But I love that the kids have found it and laugh at it. There's young TikTokers that have reached out to me. Is it okay if I post it? I'm not going to copyright strike you. Monetize it. If you can figure out a way to get money off a joke I told 25 years ago, so be it. That's how I give back for all the bootlegging I did.
Pranks. Are pranks a young man's game? Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. The special, as I said, is Lonely Flowers. It is on Hulu. Let's play a clip here for Roy. I don't know if we've selected a clip that he likes or he doesn't like, but he'll break it down for us afterward. Let's see.
Every son's dream, every child's dream is to retire their parents. You ain't got to do this no more, mama. I got you. Not realizing that we're creating a disconnect for our parents. But I saw you work. I saw you bust your ass for 5-6 decades. And it's thankless. It's education. You ain't gonna make bank on it. So relax. You've done your best. Relax. I just talked to Trevor Noah. He getting ready to quit the show. I'm gonna be the host. You can relax, mama. You can stop. You got to hit a lick, Jones. Yeah, I had to call my mama back 6 months later. You didn't quit yet, did
you? That is a fairly accurate representation of what happened between me and my mom.
Have you gotten over it? Because I don't know that I was rooting so hard for you because I think you would have been perfect for the time and the place. And with that support system, it would have been unbelievable. So I don't know. Has the sting of that gone away?
Yeah, I mean, it was never a sting as much as it was, all right, y'all don't know what y'all want to do. At some point, I'm not going to be working here anymore anyway. That's the inevitability of all employment. So I will just leave now. And I mean, bro, I'm blessed, man. I got the Hulu special, CNN, we're back next month, and I'm in a movie with Keanu Reeves later this year. I'll take that.
Can you get me the name drop, please? I was hitting look at me.
No, that's not a name drop.
I'm in a movie with Keanu Reeves.
That's
Isn't
his
a
job.
name drop? It's not a name drop.
He's talking about his job.
Could have said I'm in a movie.
I mean,
it's like being in a movie. Like, look, there's a lot of levels.
I just left Sundance last week. I was in Sundance skiing with all the stars, and I saw John Hamm.
Look at me, Louis. Yes, that's both of them.
Sundance, the name he's dropping.
Yeah, the rarest of things. Look at me, Louis, and a name drop at exactly the same time. Are you doing John Wick?
No, heavens no. This is it's a comedy. It's Keanu Reeves and Jonah Hill. It's called Outcome. All I can say about it right now, it'll be on Apple Plus. All I can say is that I play a character that is essentially, imagine if Deion Sanders was a civil rights lawyer.
Why is that all you can say?
Because I don't know what the hell else I can say legally right now about a film that doesn't have a trailer yet, and I don't want to get in trouble with Apple.
All right, it's
a comedy.
That's a good reason. I'm
See,
sorry.
that's how people get edited out of movies, talking too much.
I'm sorry.
They got the AI. They'll take my ass right out and put in Anthony Anderson or something. No.
Then you got to call your mom again and say,
Yeah, Joyce. Bad news.
Anthony Anderson. I don't know that you could have done funnier than Anthony Anderson there. What do you make of? Because I did want to talk some politics with you, and I wanted to talk some sports. What have you been making of all the DEI stuff? Like I thought inclusion and diversity and I thought these things, equality. I thought these things were positive things. I thought thank you, Amin. I thought everyone was kind of in favor of those things.
Yeah, but I think somehow equality and DE&I, they've equated to welfare or a handout instead of recognizing there's people as qualified or more qualified than white applicants. Statistically, white women benefit the best and the most from DE&I. So I think it's going to be on them to lead the charge to get that back on the books once they get all unemployed.
It's hard. I can't do it all by myself.
I think it's that. Also, I think, bro, there's going to be like a downturn on harassment suits and trying to prove discrimination in the workplace as well. Like, it's about to get weird. I have a broader question about DE&I as we start eliminating initiatives and programs. Do big and tall stores fall under DE&I?
Put it on the
should
poll.
We get rid of them?
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do big and tall stores? I thought that these were the places that we could still make fun of people, and we can go after men who are heavy. I know.
Well, there's Lane Bryant. So I mean, no, I'm just stop. I'm not making a joke about what. We know what Lane Bryant is.
I'm just saying, I know this to be so, that these are spaces that are still allowed to mock men who are heavy and short. This is still allowed, I thought.
Here's the issue. I'm at that weird threshold. And Dan, I don't know where you are on your fitness journey right now, but I feel like you're like me, where I'm almost too big for the department store, but I'm too skinny for big and tall.
Right there.
So I need a 40-32.
I live there. I live in that purgatory.
38-32, 40-32, depending on the clothing designer, right? And there's almost always only one 40-32. And then you go, can you check your other stores? And then, yeah, we got one 5 hours away, you kind of chubby bastard. So I either need to gain 20 pounds or lose 10. And I want to know whether or not I can sue these department stores for not carrying enough 40-32s, because I think it's discrimination against my people. If a woman can sue Lyft for not being able to get in the car, I should be able to sue a department store for not being able,
Roy, did you discover, as I did, that she's a rapper? Like, from the news story. The news story is that rapper sues Lyft. They're like, you rap? I guess that's a great way to get your name out.
Okay, well then I want her on stage with that other rapper that they keep wheeling out there. What's his name? Dave Blunts? Put her with him.
Dave Blunts? That
yeah,
dude.
you know the one.
I know.
The guy, he sat the whole time, and he's a great rapper. He's like so big that he stood during one of his raps and got a standing ovation. Just for standing. I'm not hating. I'm just saying I want in on this inequality lawsuit game too. And I think big and tall is going to be my play.
The other day I was watching Only Murders in the Building, and I saw you in an episode, and it reminded me of, I think it was either Greg Cody or Stugotz saying Martin Short and Steve Martin were both overrated as comics.
God.
So I wanted to ask your
So
opinion as someone who's in their sort of like career renaissance show right now.
So bad.
I read that script for that episode in season 1, and I think it's a 5-page scene that I'm in. There's probably a page and a half of dialogue that they hit once for the director. Then the director gives them the Steve and Martin Short, do your thing, magic take. And They did everything in that scene without the dialogue that was on the page, and it somehow still fit the dialogue that I had to throw back at them. And they improvised all types of extra stuff, and they didn't add a second of tape to the take. The level of it'd be literally like if I told you to rap a song as written, and then I say, now freestyle that same song, hit all the choruses, hit all the bridges at the exact same time, but use whatever words you want, and make sure the song still says the same thing.
Roy, when you're talking about what that mastery and that expertise is, I would think that even someone as prolific as you would be awed and careful about doing the double dutch with them when they're into the comic rhythms of we're going back and forth. I would find all of that intimidating. I would fall on the floor and want to leave the room.
Definitely intimidating. Like, they're straight up gods, bro, and they're like, okay, now you're in the scene, and now talk about a cactus, and you're just praying you don't mess up. But they don't let you feel intimidated by them. They have a way of disarming. Like, it's like they're Steve Martin for sure. He's aware of how great he is and how great you think he is, that he will just kind of disarm you in a scene. Overrated? Why?
Oh,
Stand up?
No, but it's wildly disrespectful. Look, you're somebody, tell me in your community, because I don't know where it is that comedians now who are getting success, who are younger, are disrespectful to whoever. Let's say Andrew Schultz doesn't think Seinfeld is very good and isn't shy about saying so and garnering the attention that comes from saying so. Do you ever see any of this beef in your world where you're like, that's disrespectful, young fella?
No, most disrespect that I see is about business. It's about joke theft. Like, if you look at Cat Williams and the grievances he had on Shannon Sharp, none of it was about, I don't think you're funny. It was more technical business related stuff. You crossed me, you wronged me, you disrespected the game in some sort of way. But just coming out and going, somebody ain't funny, that's not going to be enough for you to build your career for 20 years. Anybody can get 5 years and stand up, regardless of your skill set. You can get a 5-year runway, but then as your audience's taste evolves, can you evolve with them will be the question, and that's the true testament. So, we'll see.
Roy, Jessica asked you about Only Murders in the Building. That's one where you're going in with these comedy icons. The opposite of that, I guess, would be Flatbush Misdemeanors, where you're kind of the established comedian and you're dealing with younger guys who are trying to make their way. What's the difference in doing that one show versus this one?
I think setting an example is probably the weirdest thing, because the scene I was in was with Hassan Johnson, who, we know is Weebay from The Wire. Mm-hmm. And, he's a drama, he does drama for the most part. So to be in a comedy with him was like, that was dope. But when I'm around younger comics, man, I'm just here to be a reservoir of advice. I remember when I first moved to LA, bro, in 2006, I was in this acting class, and they have all the pictures of everybody who took the class before you, and Aisha Tyler was on there. Mm-hmm. And I sent her a disrespectfully long Facebook message, just at, hey, give me the game. You black, I'm black, LA. Hello.
Oh, he was in the middle of a
good
great story.
It's a good ending, though, for him to say hello and then for it immediately to be goodbye. We will get Roy on in a second. Before we do so, let me get some basketball from Amin. I just need De'Aaron Fox talk. I need this is the Sacramento Kings are evidence of it is not easy to stay up there. Like, you can visit, but the Sacramento Kings as a franchise are a good example for how hard it is to stay up there. And now they're in a position where they're going to lose. I don't know if that's Sabonis's team, but they're going to lose somebody who matters to them.
Well, Dan, it's funny that you said it's hard to stay up there. They were there for the briefest of moments. I make this joke all the time. They've made one playoffs since the Bush administration. One. And that was the one 2 years ago, and they lost in the first round to Steph Curry and the Warriors. So it's one thing to say stay up there. I wouldn't even say they got up there. They just merely rose their heads over the waterline of awful for a brief moment, a gasp of oxygen, and then back down underwater again. And they blame their coach for it. I don't think that was the right way to do it, but I understand how things get to where they get, and at some point You don't really have a choice.
The coaching fraternity, though, really rallied around how unfair it was that Mike Brown would have more success there than anyone since Adelman, and that they would turn around and be that unforgiving about forgetting about it.
Well, I'll tell you how that happens, Dan. It's very simple. It happens when there's two ways to handle discourse or whatever, right? Guy comes up to you, someone in the front office, someone in ownership, someone in the organization who's not the head coach. Say, man, coach is kind of screwing me over here. There's two ways to handle it, right? There's the way it's handled, sadly, in most of the NBA, where it's like, yeah, it's kind of messed up that he's doing that, and which basically gives you leeway. Oh, okay, there's a crack here in the foundation. I can criticize coach. I can bring grievances. These guys are on my side. And regardless of whether that's the intention in the moment or down the line, this is what happens. What ends up happening is you have contradicted the coach. You have undermined them. Even if you know he's doing a good job, you reach a point where Sacramento reached, which is, doesn't matter if he's a good coach. Doesn't matter if he's done a good job up to now. Those guys aren't listening to him anymore. And once they've lost that kind of respect or whatever, it's over. The other part is the Pat Riley. Do you ever get the itch? I never get the itch. And right then and there, that's the decision. It's at that moment, very early on in the relationship between the coach, the front office, and the players.
You're telling a story there. Did you guys understand his basketball shorthand for "Did you ever get the itch? I never get the itch"? Because I don't think any of you understood what he was saying, and you're the audience. The shipping container, does it have any idea
0 for 4?
what he's talking about there?
I'm in tummy ache city right now. Can you the itch?
Yes.
Jock
Yes.
itch? I don't.
I
think
know,
that.
but Billy didn't.
No, it was good.
Yes, you want to explain?
Sure.
What it's LeBron. It's
Yeah.
Pat Riley.
So-
it's a moment in time where the Miami Heat are 9-8, and LeBron bumps Spo on the court, and then asks Riley, "Do you ever get the itch to coach again?" And Riley,
Yeah, so the team's not doing great. He goes to go meet with Riley, talk about what's going on, how can we be better. And in the middle of this conversation, how can we be better, LeBron asked Pat, hey, don't you ever get the itch? Meaning, like, do you ever feel like you want to come down and coach, which is LeBron testing the boundaries. Like, hey, is this dude on my side here? Or it's like, yeah, Spo's kind of messing up. Maybe I will. It's like, if Pat Riley had said anything like, yeah, sometimes, but, I like, automatically you are validating this emotion that's coming across your desk. And legend has it, Pat leans forward across the desk and stares at him and said, I never get the itch. Meaning, like, don't even try that bullshit around me. Even if Pat does get the itch. He wasn't about to admit it right there because he knew if he did, Eric Spoelstra's now Hall of Fame-worthy career is over before that season.
that is why we have this statue to Pat Riley here. That is why we talk so much Jimmy Butler and alienate our audience.
So going back to Mike Brown, I suspect, because you can't get from, hey, this is the most successful coach we've had since Rick Adelman, to a year and a half later, get out of here, unless someone has conversations of the itch variety. Maybe not like itch because it's not a head coach.
But this is talked about a lot in Sacramento. Did De'Aaron Fox have anything to do with that? And where does De'Aaron Fox think in going in that playoff run that he's responsible for some of the success that they've had out there? And now why is De'Aaron Fox wanting to play in San Antonio?
I'm not even putting on De'Aaron Fox. I'm just saying players were disgruntled, and their disgruntlement was not met with, well, that's the coach. You better march to his orders. And then they figure out, well, man, they're really serious about this coach. Their disgruntlement was more than likely met with, yeah, I get it. He can be tough, but that, like, once you do all of that placating, it undermines the best coach they've had since Rick Adelman, right? No disrespect to Michael Malone. Now, Fox.
Well, it is disrespect to him.
No, I think Michael Malone would say, look, he did a better job in Sacramento than I did. Now, Michael Malone would say they didn't give me a shot to be that great because I got fired very quickly as well.
Jessica's stomach problems are now troubling me. I believe that she is sinking into her seat.
Why do I have heartburn? It's 11 a.m.
She's going to. Did you?
Welcome!
Happened? What did you have?
No.
What happened? What happened?
She's on our
Bag
side.
of deluxe mixed nuts.
That should be okay, right?
I don't know.
Just yesterday, like, I asked the room just aloud, I go, you guys' bodies just ache anymore? Or are you guys not there yet? And yesterday I got a, no, we're not there yet. And I'm glad. Today we're there. And I'm glad. Welcome. Welcome to here.
What kind of curse curse did Nick Wright put on me?
Was it the show or is it football for all year? We're all stumbling, burping, belching to the finish line of football. Is it? Are we sure, Jessica?
I've been pretty backed up this week, if that's what you're asking.
It's just age, man. Like,
She's
this is
crossed
just-
the line that she shall never cross back.
Oh, no.
You are one of us
No,
now.
I'm blaming Stugotz for getting me sick. Where's Stugotz? Heartburn is always the
Producing.
first sign I'm getting sick.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we all getting sick? Is that what's happening?
you guys
right
are getting
No,
sick.
you're
Don't put
already
that on
sick.
me.
You told us this morning you were
am.
sick.
You said that this morning?
Yeah, he started the show with it.
Why are you here?
How do we get back to
You
our
know
glory
why?
hole?
Because Jason Kelsey, that's why.
Yeah.
He's worried. We'll go to the
I
Super
had to
Bowl
get
without
in
him.
and talk about Tyreek Hill. I just had to.
If you didn't, who would,
No, really, who would?
I am really struggling here toward the end of the show. Can you guys tell me all of the information that I need to know? I am ignorant on this subject. Is Madonna, one of the great reinventors of my pop culture lifetime, is she doing something with stand-up comedy that is a very bad decision by her?
This is why I'm upset that Roy never came back, because I wanted to ask him about this. Madonna is apparently friends with Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer was at the Cellar in New York and said to Madonna, hey, you should get up there and do a set. Madonna proceeds to do 32 minutes and bombs. And all I could think of was, I hope that I am never so rich, powerful, and successful that my comedian friends, in order to placate my celebrity, suggest to me, you should try stand-up.
Hear that, Brad Williams? I'm not opening for you.
Brad Williams is the star of the Greg Cody Show. You guys need to do something here. Our audience needs to boost those YouTube numbers over there for the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody on YouTube. They have Brad Williams being able to talk very, very exceptionally little about a movie that he's in.
What movie?
The famous sequel, Dan, you know it. I suck with all these.
Spinal
Well
Tap.
said.
There you go, that one.
Spinal
I did
Tap.
one of these Spinal Taps.
Okay, it's a good promotion for your dad and his YouTube channel for you not to know anything that
My
he's
dad
doing.
wanted to talk Spinal Tap. I've never seen the first one.
Okay.
Oh, you would like it. I feel like it's funny.
It's great. Spinal Tap holds up.
Wait, there's a Spinal Tap sequel?
It's coming out
It's
with
coming
Brad
out
Williams.
with
And
Brad-
Brad Williams is in it?
Yes.
You'll never guess the role he plays.
What's your guys' favorite nut? Almond, cashew, or shower?
I'm worried about you, and I say
Pistachio.
that the cashew. The cashew is the best of the nuts. I will have no disagreement on this. Although the macadamia nut.
I'm addicted to them. That's probably why I have heartburn. I've eaten probably 6,000 macadamia nuts this week.
Well, the macadamia nut has an enormous amount of fat, so that's absolutely what's happening in your stomach. Like that is, you have put now there's an oily residue of, that is the fattiest of the nuts.
But it's healthy fat, right?
Dr. Eberflus, I presume.
I am your nut doctor.
I'm picturing the nut getting into your stomach. Wait a minute. And you being like, hey,
Phrasing.
you give me the fat. And the nut's looking at your belly being like, no, you have the fat.
I
Dr.
am
Bendova.
I am Eberflus the nut doctor.
Well, no,
I'm fine with that.
he's an ENT.
You're right about that.
Why did he check my prostate then?
Where did that come from? There was no reason for a glory hole there. You were just descending.
It fit.
You were trying to be part of the fun. It fit. I am a nut expert. I don't care who knows it, and I will rank the nuts for you if you like. The macadamia nut is the greatest of all of the nuts. If you're willing to do that fatty, it's aggressive. It's an enormous amount of fattiness. My father, the cashew is number 2. I will not have an argument about this. I will not discuss it with you further. And number 3 is the pistachio. It is that is the list. Billy, you have something that
No, I like the pea.
I like predates.
That's a legume.
What about D's?
Is it?
Yes, it is. We normally do top 5s around here, Dan. I'm
I
not
did.
sure
I
if
did
you're
it so aggressive. I did it in
aware.
the wrong order. But yes, number one would have been D's nuts. Yes, of course. That's what would have been, obviously.
What's number 4?
If I had done it correctly, no. It was now I have to do it the other way. Right. Number 4, the pistachio. Number 3, the cashew. Number 2, the macadamia nut. And number 1, D's nuts.
I think we got a number 5.
I did it wrong.
Pecan. It was pecan.
Did you say your dad's a cashew?
My dad is a cashew nut.
Oh, wait.
Is he a
I'm
nut for
just as
cashews?
confused.
Yeah, he's addicted. I'm the nut doctor. Eberflus. My father loves cashews and went through a period where he was eating those Costco cashews, and that you talk about stomach problems. Because you're just oiling your entire system.
I feel like we're all Greg Cody right now, just petering out.
Honestly, I laughed so hard, I feel better now. Like, my heartburn kind of went away.
You feel like we're petering out, and all I feel like is a group of people staring at me as I press the gas on Nut Talk because I can see that you're petering out. So now I'm pressing the gas. But these are the best nuts, and I will not have it disputed.
Nuts are pressing the gas, too.
Yeah, apparently.
Can you guys dispute any of what I'm saying? Any of you going to make an argument on behalf of a nut to crack our nut top 4 there?
I'd say like the morning time.
I was gonna go with shower.
Oh. Before you got on a date, that's a good one too.
Punt.
Folks, let's crown some moments. This is a segment in which we turn our attention to some NFL winning bets from the playoff weekend, and let's jump right into it. Somebody out there put $7,000 on A.J. Brown to score an anytime touchdown at plus 155 odds. That bet cashed at an incredible $17,850. Unstoppable you are, A.J. Brown. How about this? Someone put $200 on Patrick Mahomes to rush for 2 touchdowns at plus 4,000 odds. That's a bold move. And it paid out a jaw-dropping $8,200. And here's the ultimate underdog story. A $2 bet on Will Shipley, yes, Will Shipley, to score the last touchdown of the game at plus 11,000 odds, turning pocket change into $222. Crowning Moments is presented by DraftKings. Submit your winning bets for a chance to be featured. DraftKings, the crown is yours. From fireside conversations to football Sundays, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. A new year is a perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller time. You know, 2024 had its ups, had its downs, had a lot of moments in it. For me, many of those moments, I had a Miller Lite right there by my side. I supplemented my time by making it a Miller time. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Miller Lite has taste you know you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just a great beer for people who love beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers, and it has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and that iconic golden color. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.